Welcome to the Finance Show with Joe. Joe is unfortunately not here today. He is unwell.
Unfortunately?
Well, you know how it is.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about interest rates and whether or not we've been going into a buyer's market. So we're doing it anyway with my good mate, Brian.
Where's the camera? That
That
camera?
one right there. So yeah, interest rates obviously just went up at the time of filming. Like it was literally, yesterday?
Yeah, like yesterday, day before. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're at 4.35%, and I just can't help but feel like we're going into a buyer's market, but also not really.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, there's a lot of faith in property because it's one of our best performing assets, like over, I don't know, what is it, 10 years, who knows, 20 years, whatever it is, it performs well.
Yeah.
So I look at that and I'm like, well, it's great, but surely it has to get to a point, right, when like everyone wants to sell up. Like it's not looking good for us.
I think it's more of a correction than anything else, because like I looked into the definition of a buyer's market, and for those who don't know, this is when supply exceeds demand and buyers have the advantage over sellers. Now, the big thing is in Australia, or at least in Sydney, man, supply does not exceed demand.
No, like not even close.
So it's like, buyers are in a better spot now because they can negotiate better with sellers and stuff.
Yeah.
And like sellers have to adjust expectations for prices to go down.
Yeah.
But it's just not like, buyers are just running away with it still.
No. It's not. That's not how it works as well. I saw something interesting though, because everyone was talking about the Perth market recently, and they were talking about how like, oh, is the Perth boom over? Like, should we give up on Perth? And I saw something funny, and it was like, I think it was like the median price in Perth now is something stupid like, or the average price, not the median, is like 1.1 million, $1.18 million in Perth, and I was like, who wants to live in Perth? Like, we're buying there because it was discounted, not because we want to live there.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting with Perth as well, because we'll see how that turns out, because they've limited how many investors can buy there. Because we know, like so many people,
I didn't know
investors
that.
in Sydney are buying in Perth.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've like stopped, limited the amount of investors because they want people to actually live in Perth. I know.
I don't know. Put your hand up if you want to live in Perth.
I'm not going to lie. I've actually met a surprising amount of people that are genuinely like, Perth is really nice. I've never been to Perth, so I can't speak for it, but I just like to joke because it's Perth.
Yeah. Well, I like Perth. No, I'm not going to lie. I loved going to Perth. It felt nice. Just couldn't live there.
Yeah.
Like it's a holiday destination.
Holiday
you get there,
destination.
you get there to Perth and you're like, okay, the city's nice. There's like a big body of water near you. Like if you go down towards certain parts, and it's quiet. The air's different there. The air's nice in Perth. Like it doesn't feel too busy. Yeah, like it doesn't feel polluted. You know what I mean? But I can't do it. I can't do it. I would rather. And I was about to say something outrageous, but like I would rather live an hour and a half away from Sydney City than move all the way to Perth. And I'm guaranteeing you that Perth is more lively than an hour and a half away from Sydney City. But what's an hour and a half away from Sydney?
Wollongong?
Yeah, no, that's even close. That's close. Wollongong's still about an hour, if that.
Yeah.
So it's like moving between Wollongong and Canberra, right?
Yeah.
I would rather live there than live in Perth.
Which is definitely not.
But I love Perth. That's the funniest part. I do like being there. I just couldn't live there.
Yeah. I've never thought about it, to be honest. I've never even visited, so I don't even know like what I'd be like. All I know is that like Tame Impala, you know, those kinds of bands and stuff, they all came from Perth, and they said they all make psychedelic rock music. And they said the reason of that is that they're doing all these psychedelics because there's nothing to do with Perth. Well, now they've got the wrestling, right?
Yeah, true. And the UFC as well.
Yeah.
Look, Perth always operated like their own little country as well. Like, so it feels like you're in Australia, but it feels like you're in a different country sometimes because they don't follow the same rules that we all do.
Right.
Like it feels weird that they're so far away because everything in Australia, everyone just thinks of the eastern side of Australia, which is like your Gold Coast, your Sydneys and your Melbournes. Whereas Perth is kind of on its own to the point where it's like they do what they want. And we saw it in COVID as well, where like they had concerts. Like they had concerts while we were on lockdown. Yeah. So it's like it does kind of have its benefits living in Perth. Yeah. I just can't do it.
No, yeah. I need the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
At least at this point in my life.
Yeah. Look, maybe when I'm like, I don't know, like 60 and I want to retire and I want a quiet spot, then maybe Perth might be where I'll look. But for now,
I'm always thinking the Blue Mountains. That way I'm still like, if I need the city, I can get there.
Oh yeah. Or like Dural, so you can be on like acreage.
I reckon by the time I'm retiring, Dural is not going to look like Dural much anymore.
That's true. Hopefully it keeps its acreage. I think that's its defining factor, right?
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
Acreage in
the
Dural.
mansions are just going up. For context, I grew up around there.
Yeah.
And the amount of McMansions and stuff that have just popped up there, it is ridiculous. Because it used to all just be like, when I was a kid, most of it was like small hobby farms.
Yeah.
And then there's just been a lot of development and a lot of people going, I want the city. It's because it's not actually that far from the city.
It's not.
But a drive, it is a pain. Well, now that with the metro in Castle Hill, it's a little better. But man, there was no way to get into the city for a long time.
You'd find something to do in Dural. Like everyone would just hang out with each other.
Yeah, that's all we did. We all just went to bonfires and stuff like that.
That sounds cool though. Like
that was good. We still had the 610X for all my hills people. They know
the 610X.
That's the bus into the city.
Okay.
The only bus into the city.
All I know is T80s, T60s, and all the T60s.
Not a hills boy.
Yeah, grew up in Maryland, so it's very, very different environment compared to the hills.
Yeah, speaking of different environments, the hills is actually going down in value now.
Really?
Property values are dropping in the upper end of the market right now. In Sydney specifically, and also Melbourne to a lesser extent, but Sydney's facing it the most. Also, highest prices. That's generally it's the highest prices in Australia. So it's gonna go. It gets hit the hardest, especially with interest rate rises now.
Yeah. Okay.
So borrowing power has been like not decimated, but reduced.
Yeah. Well, look, that's what I heard, right? I heard the higher the rates go, like your high value properties are always going to go down in value.
Yeah, because you're already limiting how many people can even buy in that. So it's already a small pool of buyers, right?
Yeah.
And then you reduce borrowing power, so that's even a smaller pool.
Yeah.
So who's buying and selling? Like the demand is there, but it's just less, and hence why prices
I would have
adjust.
thought that it would go up, right? Like if it's harder to buy, surely that's like, okay, well.
No, it's harder to find buyers.
Oh, okay, I get you.
So sellers have to go sell for less than their original asking price.
True, I get you.
Which is also why like auction clearance rates have been going down as well. Like investors are sort of like waiting until the budget, which we will talk about. Don't you worry. But there's still a chronic undersupply in general.
Yeah, I think it's always going to be like that. Why do you think everyone in Sydney is investing in Perth? Like everyone that I know who bought property like in the last 3 years, half of them, if they didn't have a property already, they all bought in Perth.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it was if they bought a property in Perth, the houses grew so much that they could afford to buy another property in Perth as well. So it
worked out. Huh?
Yeah, it's great for Sydney-siders, but it's not great for people who live in Perth and they want to live there.
Yeah,
you know?
This is true.
You just got a bunch of people from Sydney who like have no intention of living in Perth, just buying up all the properties. If I was them, it would piss me off too, to be fair.
Yeah, which is, again, I think why they introduced that limit.
Yeah. We were taking the piss, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sydney's so expensive. There's so few opportunities. There are opportunities, but you really have to look. And you're just out competed and stuff. Like, did your mates buy with like help with their parents, like guarantors and stuff like that? Yeah. And that was still with Perth?
Yeah. Some of them bought with guarantors and some of them didn't. Some of them had just been saving heaps and had well-paying jobs.
But all the ones in Sydney, do they all buy with guarantors?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay, 100%. that's what
there was buying in Sydney like as like a first home buyer with no guarantor. If you have it's not happening.
Yeah,
it's not. Like,
or at least it's very unlikely.
You have to have the kind of job where you're clearing so much money and have insane amount of savings to buy something like that by yourself, because you're competing with foreign investors. You're competing with people that have 10 properties already, people with 5. Even someone with 1 property is going to do better than you. That's just how it works.
Yeah. Well, look, that makes sense. Right now, I kind of think like, because there's a general, people always try to time the market, right? Yeah. And obviously right now the sentiment is bad. Everyone's kind of doesn't want to buy.
Yeah.
Low key. General advice.
No, it's not general. There's no advice given at all on this.
No, this is pure opinion and speculation.
Yeah.
It's a huge grain of salt.
Yeah.
Why not go against the grain? If prices are sort of coming down, maybe if you go to an auction now, if you're a first home buyer.
Yeah.
So if you're not worried about this being an investment, you're not worried about capital gains or anything. You just want a place to live or just get on the property ladder. Maybe now's the time to go to an auction, because there's fewer investors because they're shit scared about what the federal budget's going to be.
Yeah, true, actually. Like, you capitalize on people's fear. I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett says something like that, right? If he said it. Yeah, if he said it, or somewhat. What's the quote? And I'm going to I'm gonna paraphrase here.
Yeah.
It's like when people are fearful in the market, be courageous. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but I'm gonna go with that.
I think that's the case. We could have just both Mandela'd ourselves here, but
for sure. Same meaning though. Like it's the exact same meaning, just different words.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe now's the time. Again, if you're not, because it's not, you can't time the market. There is no right time in the market. What you need is to just get into the market. I think Joe and my parents have said the same thing, where it was the best time to get into the market was yesterday.
Yeah, everyone says that shit, right? Like
I think that's a common saying, right?
It's a mad common saying. But also, to counter that argument, for the people that I know that purchase properties, I know a lot of people that purchase properties because they were told that and then couldn't financially sustain those properties and had to sell them, right? So it's like, the way I view it, and obviously a bit funny working for a brokerage viewing it this way, I think if you can buy a property and you're actually capable of making the repayments, 100% purchase a property.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who's like scraping it thin and you're like, I really need to get a property because people are telling me to get one, it's not going to end well.
No,
it's really not.
Yeah, I think that is obviously, within reason. Like, get a financial professional, a broker, just anyone who knows like how to analytically look at your financial situation and be like, you can or cannot afford X, Y, Z. That is key.
Because it's the same way that people would be like, okay, well, I can service $1 million loan, right? The bank is telling me I can service it.
Yeah.
But then if you really look at the financials, you can probably only comfortably service like 700,000 or maybe like 600,000. That's like your comfort spot.
Yeah. Well, they are required by law now to give that 3% buffer, which does hurt people's borrowing capacities as well. It's also a part of the reason why first-time buyers are having a few issues. Like a lot of first-time buyers, well, I guess what's the average age to buy out your first house? Now it's like 38.
Oh, I think it's 38.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, we're cooked.
Like I said, I had to buy with my entire family. Like, it's like, technically I own a house, but it's really my family that owns the house.
There's 3 or 4 of us on there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Buy with your siblings, everyone. But
if you, be careful. You have to have that relationship with people.
Yeah, true.
You have to, if you can talk, if you and your siblings are weird with money, like now before anything serious, is probably not a good idea. It's not worth risking the relationship. However, if you guys know each other and you chill, consider it.
Yeah.
Consider it because it does help. It, and you can use it as an investment as well because then you can, you can just put a renter in there. You split the mortgage costs. Someone helps in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can negatively gear it anymore. We'll see about the future.
Jesus. Yeah,
but regardless, like long term, you're better off because at least just one investment property.
I think it helps. Like it's the easiest way to get into the market is to at least have one underneath your belt, right? And even if you're sharing it with your siblings,
you can still tap into the equity.
Exactly. So when you decide to get your own, that makes sense. Look, I think a lot of us are lucky that we have parents that decided that they were going to purchase properties because as bad as it sounds, at least if you need to use equity or you need a guarantor, you can rely on them.
Yeah.
Not everyone has that luxury. Some people's parents just didn't have the capability to buy properties. It's
that generational wealth gap. It keeps widening. Those who never got on the property market, it's now increasingly likely that they'll never get onto it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not impossible. It's not a guarantee. It's just more likely.
But then imagine you have a family, right? And you have like 2 parents that have bought, let's say, for example, 4 properties between themselves. And then they have 4 other kids. And then those 4 kids all use their parents' properties to also buy, like...
That's a leg up. That's a leg up that not everyone has.
Exactly. You can't have that. So then I think what you'll now see is more people looking at alternatives instead of property. Like people won't value property as much. They might look at stock markets. They might look at other investments to try to get past the gap.
Which, to be honest, is kind of, I personally, I think it's a good thing to diversify like the economy in some respect, or the investment economy. Maybe 100%. I'm not using the right terminology here, but putting money in, like we all put our money into property, which is valuable. Like land holds value and everything. We've proven that. But it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't build like if you invest in a company that's doing research in whatever, rocket science. That does something. Like your money goes towards something. Whereas like with property for the individual, yes, it like just sits there. You develop, like it goes up in value and that's that. But it doesn't do anything. You're not build unless you build, but then that's just more sunken costs.
That's a lot of overhead.
And unless you're building like apartments, like bigger structures, not duplexes. Yeah, something like that.
There was a story that I saw where they were comparing interest rate rises with other countries compared to Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And like our rates have changed so much compared to other countries.
Yeah, we're
like,
having whiplash, man.
America hasn't moved their rates in years.
Yeah, I saw a graphic that was like 1,000 and something days that it was the UK, US, probably Canada, and I think Japan.
Yeah.
And none of them had moved.
The rates hadn't moved.
Oh, New Zealand.
And like, why are our rates moving so much, right? I'm like, see, I don't understand. My problem is I don't understand why. I'll probably look into it after the pod.
I could tell you.
Okay, tell me.
All right. So basically, it's to do with inflation.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a few arguments going around, but basically, so what the RBA does, and this is all the RBA does, is tackle inflation.
Yeah.
The only way they can really do that is to move rates up and down.
Yeah.
Reducing people's borrowing power, spending capacity, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because less money into the economy means inflation comes down.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the problem is right now is that a lot of other countries have got a stronger grasp. Well, we were comparable until recently.
Yeah.
But like once the Iran conflict happened, then our April consumer price index, our headline inflation went to 4.6%.
Yeah.
Now, the RBA wants to get inflation in between 2 and 3%. So that's much higher than the target band. So they up interest rates again.
Yeah.
There's kind of like an argument between the RBA and the government, the federal government.
Yeah.
Basically, the RBA is suggesting and kind of outright saying that the government's spending too much money and is causing inflation. And the government is saying, no, it's not.
no, I had to spend $750,000 on my speechwriter. Like,
no, you essentially
machete bins. It's like,
yeah, all that sort of. So basically, the rest of us are copying it because of things that none of us can really control, and that is sort of it. Which, like, literally, no one in Australia had control over what happens in Iran.
Yeah,
so like that's not like it's easy to blame. Curse Albo, but that one's not his fault.
Well, yeah, you can't do anything about that. Look, I think everyone just wants someone to blame for things sometimes.
It's kind of what the job of politician is.
Yeah.
I feel like you are scapegoated, you are blamed, you are the face of things.
Yeah.
So you kind of if you didn't want to ever get bullied or get called bad names or have people dislike you, you'd never be a politician.
Yeah, stay away from it. Look, that's not to say that he might not be at fault, but it's but even if he, like, there's obviously certain things that are out of his control as well.
Yeah,
some things in his control, but also a lot of things that aren't.
Yeah, and look, we'll see what happens in the budget, because I know a lot of government spending is being cut down, like particularly around the NDIS.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that looks like and what else the rest is. Apparently, there's going to be an income tax cut. So these are just rumors. The budget isn't out. So apparently, our income taxes will be cut because of the changes to CGT and negative gearing. So the government makes more money from those property sales, right?
Than they do from our income.
Well, they're filling the gap they're giving us an income tax cut and filling the gap with the capital gains.
Okay.
So you get more money in your wallet, but you don't get to keep as much.
Note to self: mute computer. Continue on.
Yes. So yeah, you don't get to keep as much of the profits from your sale.
Yeah.
But you do get to keep more of your salary. So whether or not that balances out over time, I have no idea. I need the economist mathematician.
Yeah. Do you reckon that will stop people from buying properties then? If
I think it'll discourage investors from it. I think it's trying to make a property investment not essentially the slam dunk it's been for the last couple decades.
Yeah.
Or even more than that.
Yeah, because in my head, I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to put more money in my pocket, then technically I can do more with my money. So am I going to be more inclined to spend money on a property knowing that I'm going to get taxed a lot more if I decide to sell the property?
Like I said, I think it's just to discourage investors.
Yeah, okay.
Like not to remove investors, just like reduce them, I suppose.
Yeah, I get you.
And because I guess what they're trying to do, if I'm being charitable, I guess, is try to make a market that's better for owner occupiers.
Yeah.
Instead of investors. So I think they're trying to limit on how much wealth you can build via property.
Using property.
which is going to make investors mad because that was the plan.
That's literally what I was doing to grow my wealth.
Yeah. But so 20% of Australians have an investment property, at least one.
20%.
20% of Australians. 70% is owner occupied in Australia. So most people who own property are not investors.
Are living in it, yeah.
Only 2% of that 20% have more than 6 properties. So it's about 20,000 people have 6 or more investment properties. So it will affect those 20,000 people the most, but ideally help the, 25 million RS.
Yeah.
So interest rates, they're gone up. Are we in a buyer's market? Not really, but things are in a better spot for buyers because you can get a better deal. Like sellers have to adjust expectations. And if you guys need a broker to help you with your property journey, so to speak, head over to itsimple.com.au.